folks, Guns, Gear, and On Target Training out here in Oregon. And today we're going to look at a really very nice pistol by Sig. This is the Sig P320 X5. Wow, that's a lot of words in there. So it's a modular handgun, like all the P320s are, and even 250s. So the externals are really, this is really the, just the frame and slide, all that stuff. But the guts of the gun is this serialized part. That is actually the firearm. And you guys have seen a whole bunch of different 320s. I'm not going to take the chassis out and show it to you guys because you can go look at that. I did want to talk about this gun. So to start with, the gun's ergonomics with the extended beaver tail, the undercut right here on the frame, and then just the shape of the trigger, that flat face forward set trigger, is really nice. It feels great in the hands. The only knock I have right now about this gun is the frame size only comes in medium and full size. And if they had a small frame, for those of us who have smaller hands, it would be ideal. So this is, the ergonomics to me are about 80%, and with a small frame, which they're currently not making, or at least I can't find any available of the small size frame itself. With the exception of that, the ergonomics would be excellent, absolutely phenomenal. Pre-cut already for a Sig red dot, so Sig Romeo red dot. It has cutaways in the top of the slide here to allow a little bit better balance, as well as just consistency in the way that the slide cycles, and it does cycle very, very nice. It feels like a Sig, high quality handgun. Rear black sights that are adjustable for elevation, and then a fiber optic front sight, which I prefer for a range gun, and that's what this gun is. Now the gun weighs 43 ounces with an empty magazine. I mean, that's like 2.75 pounds. That's a pretty heavy gun. But for a dedicated range gun, totally cool. Also, very likely it'll mitigate some of the felt recoil that typically I experience with the SIGs because of their much higher bore axis versus CZs or M&Ps or Glocks. That lower riding bore axis on the SIG or on those other guns work for me better than this version. We have the mag well piece here, this extension that you can remove, but again, for feeding mags, absolutely nice to have that big flared well to capture the mag. The gun comes with, at least this gun, came with 3 17-round mags. The original versions, they were shipping out with 21-round mags, so I don't quite know, maybe who knows what. I'm going to acquire some of the 21-round mags as well. I would note, this is one frustrating thing about Sig products. It seems like so many of their modular guns require different magazines or magazine plates. And that to me is a little frustrating. It's great when you can use magazines that belong to consistently across any 9mm handgun. And so this is actually different than the M17 magazines. So again, kind of a knock in my opinion for that. The gun is a striker fired gun, and it has a really, really nice, clean, clear break. So right here, that reset, both tactile and audible. So out of the box, feels pretty good. I imagine with a couple thousand rounds through the gun, that trigger is going to get even better. So I'm looking forward to that. The striker fired gun, very short distance of over travel here. The trigger breaks relatively far forward, so I don't have a lot of space to take up. Sort of like shooting a single action trigger, so quite nice. I happen to own 3 of this is the 3rd one. I own 2 other Legion pistols, and of course those are hammer fired guns. One's a single action only version, the other one is the double action version, and now this, a striker fired version. So this trigger is very similar to what is on the other 2 guns. One of those triggers I purchased from Gray Guns, actually I think both of them as a matter of fact, and this forward set angled trigger, just for me, it's a better mechanism than the rounded triggers. Again, that's personal preference. Not necessarily everyone's going to feel that way. As I mentioned before, it is a big gun. It's big. 5-inch barrel, 43 ounces. The overall length of the gun is 8.5 inches. Again, big gun. Overall width is 1.6 inches. So again, it's a pretty beefy, full-size handgun. Nothing wrong with that. Wouldn't be my first choice for everyday carry or concealed carry because of its size and weight. However, if that's all you had, that's all you had. Fair enough. The recoil spring and guide rod, the guide rod is stainless steel. Again, good work, Sig, on that. And it comes with both a 14-pound spring and a 12-pound spring, so you can swap that out in terms of recoil. If you're shooting some lighter loads, you can certainly do that. The weight of this is heavy. It is of steel, yet they've also got tungsten infused in this, so apparently the gun is said to flex a little bit more like a polymer gun, again mitigating the recoil, and from what I've read, anywhere from 20 to 30% less felt recoil. 9mm, not a big deal. On the other hand, if you're trying to shoot really fast in competition and accurately, the reduction in muzzle flip can really make a big difference. The other thing about the gun itself is it does have a match grade bull barrel, so again, more weight and theoretically more accuracy. We will get this gun to the range relatively soon and give you guys a chance to see it. So I'm pretty excited with what I see so far. I think anyone who owns Sig products recognizes that you get what you pay for. They are expensive, but they're also high quality handguns. So this to me is one of the more impressive handguns that I've seen this year. Certainly there are a lot of guns out there, but this, I said, man, that's something that I want to add to the collection and go out and shoot it. So that's what we're going to do in the next few weeks, and hopefully you can join us when we post the range review video of this. So that's a quick tabletop look at the Sig Sauer P320 X5. Whew, a lot of words. Looks like it's going to be a great shooter, and we're excited to have the opportunity to go out and share it with you guys. Thanks so much for watching. Finally, and as always, stay safe.